Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my people all over the world. Welcome back to my channel. It is still your one and only 24/7 news boss. We are here to bring you another fresh update concerning the IPOB. And in this update, we're going to talk about Simon Ekpa's case. News reaching us this morning is that Simon Ekpa has been sentenced to 6 years in prison in Finland for terrorism charges. Before we proceed, please subscribe this channel, like and share this video, and do not forget to turn on your notification bell so that you will be the first to receive our updates back to back. So moving straight to the update, a district court in Finland has sentenced Simon Ekpa, a self-styled Prime Minister of Biafra and prominent separatist campaigner, to 6 years imprisonment after finding him guilty of terrorism-related offences. The historic ruling, delivered on Monday after a month of painstaking investigations and courtroom arguments, is already being described by legal experts as a turning point in the international response to diaspora-driven extremism. Ekpa, a Nigerian-born Finnish citizen based in Lahti, was convicted on 3 key charges. Number 1, incitement to terrorism, 2, financing of extremist activities, and 3, participation in the operations of a terrorist organization. The court ruled that while Ekpa never physically engaged in violence in the Zoo Nation, he sustained online propaganda, directives, and financial support played a decisive role in the escalation of insecurity in the southeast of the Zoo Nation. Prosecutors argued that Ekpa used his vast social media following and regular online broadcasts to issue calls for sit-at-home protests, violent resistance, and disobedience against the Zoo Nation. Evidence tendered in court included video recordings of Ekpa urging armed groups to intensify attacks on the Zoo Nation's operatives, financial recordings linking him to bank transfers that prosecutors alleged were funneled to separatist militias operating under the Eastern Security Network (ESN). Witness testimony from one Zoo Nation citizen who claimed that attacks on police stations, checkpoints, and government buildings followed shortly after his online orders. Finnish prosecutors stressed that Ekpa's broadcast had a command-like influence on militant groups and civilians, creating fear, economic paralysis, and loss of life. The defendants' rhetoric and directives cannot be dismissed as a mere free speech, Chief Prosecutor Anna Chiesa Ato said in court. They directly embodied terrorist actors thousands of kilometers away. In its ruling, the district court emphasized that terrorism under Finnish and EU law does not require direct physical participation in attacks. Rather, any sustained activity that materially enables, encourages, or organizes violent acts qualifies. Ekpa's incitement met the legal threshold of encouraging terrorism, as his messages significantly contributed to attacks in the Zoo Nation. His financial contributions provided logistical support to violent separatist operations. By aligning himself with the outlawed IPOB and ESN, he knowingly participated in a terrorist organization. The defendant's conduct was deliberate, sustained, and transnational in its effect. His propaganda has tangible violent consequences in the Zoo Nation. This meets the legal requirements of terrorism under Finnish law, the judgment read. On other hand, the Zoo government quickly welcomed the ruling. In a statement issued by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in Abuja, officials described the verdict as a major breakthrough in the fight against diaspora-funded terrorism. This ruling validates our long-standing concern that certain individuals hiding abroad are orchestrating and financing violence in our country under the guise of artisan. The statement said, "We commend the Finnish judiciary for acting on the weight of evidence." Security agencies in the zoo nation expressed hope that conviction would deter other separatist figures operating from outside the country. Ekpa, who was present in court, denied wrongdoing. His legal team argued that he was being politically targeted for advocating Biafra's independence and that these broadcasts were an exercise of freedom of speech. "We strongly disagree with this ruling and will immediately file an appeal," his lawyer, Marty Javinin, said after the verdict. "Our client has never committed nor endorsed terrorism. He only spoke in favor of self-determination, a right protected under international law." Supporters of Ekpa in Finland staged a small protest outside the court, waving Biafran flags and accusing the zoo nation government of pressuring Finnish authorities into action. The case has drawn global attention because it highlights how diaspora-based agitators can influence conflicts in their home countries using digital platforms. In 2023, the zoo nation launched a formal diplomatic protest with Finland, accusing Ekpa of inciting violence from abroad. The Finnish government initially hesitated, citing freedom of expression concerns, but eventually opened a probe under mounting diplomatic pressure. The European Union monitored the trial closely, given its implications for counter-terrorism cooperation across borders. Legal experts say the conviction is one of the strongest precedents yet for holding diaspora leaders accountable for fueling unrest in their home countries. This is a wake-up call for many European nations hosting exile activities, said Mr. Henrik Salonen, a Helsinki-based political scientist. The question is where to draw the line between activism and terrorism. The Finnish court has now drawn that line firmly, he said. Simon Ekpa's conviction comes amid ongoing violence in the southeast, where attacks on police stations, abductions have become increasingly common. Analysts argue that the ruling may weaken the morale of militant groups who drew inspiration from Ekpa's broadcasts and disrupt funding channels between diaspora figures and armed groups, increase international cooperation in monitoring extremist finances. However, some experts warn that the conviction could also radicalize certain supporters, fueling conspiracy theories of foreign collusions against Biafra's cause. For now, Simon Ekpa will serve his sentence in Finland, though his lawyers remain determined to appeal to the Finnish Court of Appeal and possibly the European Court of Human Rights. Meanwhile, the zoo nation is expected to leverage the ruling in its wider campaign to delegitimize separatist activities. Already, officials in the federal capital are pressing other countries to follow Finland's lead. This is not the end of Biafra question, but it is the beginning of a new era in how the international community responds, said Abuja-based security analyst Kabiru Lawal. In conclusion, the sentencing of Simon Ekpa marks a rare instance where a European court has directly penalized a diaspora separatist leader for violence occurring thousands of miles away. Whether this will deter others or inflame further tensions in the southeast remains to be seen. But one thing is clear. The case of Simon Ekpa has established a legal and political precedent that will reverberate far beyond Finland and the zoo nation. Simon Ekpa's conviction has now set a powerful precedent that could reshape how the world deals with the diaspora activism and separatist struggles. But the big question is, will this ruling help reduce the violence in the southeast region of the zoo nation, or will it further deepen the crisis? Share your thoughts in the comment section, and don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and share this video so others can join the conversations. We'll be back shortly. Stay tuned.